The last call at 2:17 a.m. It was 2:17 a.m. in a small town just outside Phoenix, Arizona. The kind of place where nothing ever really happened, where the streets stayed quiet and the same people passed by every day without surprise. And Officer Daniel Reyes was on his usual night shift, driving slowly through empty roads, watching, listening, doing what he had done for years. But that night, something felt off. The radio had been silent for too long, almost too calm, until suddenly the dispatch crackled to life with urgency. Unit 12, we have a 911 call, possible disturbance on Maple Street. And without hesitation, Daniel responded, "Copy, I'm on my way," as he pressed the gas and headed toward the address. Maple Street being a peaceful neighborhood filled with families and normal lives, not the kind of place where trouble usually showed up. But when he arrived, everything looked normal, too normal. The house stood still with its lights off and no visible signs of chaos, no broken glass, no screams, nothing. Yet the front door was slightly open, just enough to make his instincts tighten. And as he stepped out of the car, his hand hovered near his weapon, moving carefully toward the entrance, pushing the door open slowly as it creaked into the silence. "Police!" he called out, but no one answered. And inside the house, the air felt heavy and still, like something had already happened and left behind only tension. As he walked further in, each step echoing through the darkness, until he heard it, a phone ringing somewhere deeper inside the house, sharp and repetitive, breaking the silence. And he followed the sound through the hallway, into the kitchen where the phone sat glowing on the counter, lighting up the room with each vibration, an unknown number calling again and again. And as he reached toward it, he paused, noticing a chair knocked over and a glass shattered on the floor, small signs that something was definitely wrong. And then he saw a faint trail leading toward the back of the house, his focus sharpening as he followed it step by step until he reached a closed bedroom door, the phone still ringing behind him. His heartbeat steady but alert as he pushed the door open and stepped inside to find the room completely disturbed, drawers pulled out, sheets torn, and on the floor a man lying unconscious, barely breathing. And Daniel rushed forward to check his pulse, still alive, immediately calling for an ambulance through dispatch while scanning the room for clues. But nothing made sense. There were no signs of forced entry, no weapon, no clear suspect, just silence and confusion, until he remembered the 911 call, only a few seconds long with no voice, just heavy breathing before it cut off. And as he returned to the kitchen, the phone had finally stopped ringing, but now displayed a voicemail. And when he played it, the sound of panicked breathing filled the room, followed by a whisper that froze him in place. "He's still inside." And the line went dead. And suddenly, everything changed, because that meant whoever had done this never left the house. And Daniel slowly turned, scanning every shadow as his instincts kicked in, drawing his weapon and calling out again, "Police, if anyone's here, come out now!" But the house remained silent until he heard a faint creak from upstairs, a single sound that broke the stillness. And he moved quickly but carefully up the stairs, each step controlled, his eyes locked on the dark hallway ahead, where one door stood slightly open. And as he pushed it wider, he saw a man standing near the window, calm, almost waiting. And Daniel shouted, "Don't move," as the man slowly raised his hands without resistance, a strange smile forming on his face, as if this moment had already been planned. "That took you long enough," the man said, and as Daniel cuffed him, he asked what he meant, but the man only smiled again and said, "You're too late anyway," leaving a chilling uncertainty hanging in the air. And hours later at the station, the truth came out. The suspect and the victim were business partners, caught in a dispute over money that had spiraled out of control. But the real twist was the call at 2:17 a.m. It wasn't the victim asking for help. It was the suspect himself who made the call, creating a distraction, controlling the timing, trying to manipulate the situation to his advantage. But he made one critical mistake. He stayed too long, and that single miscalculation is what led to his capture.
And as the night ended and Maple Street returned to silence, the lights fading and the town settling back into its routine as if nothing had happened, Officer Daniel Reyes knew that some nights never really leave you, because sometimes the most dangerous criminals don't run, they wait, and sometimes the call for help isn't a cry for rescue at all, but the beginning of something far more dangerous.